how is the sequence going to work? Thank you.
Sure, I'm happy to explain that, and then feel free to chime in if you'd like to. So, again, very exciting that we have 3 payloads who all want to go to the same place, L1. And so the Falcon will lift off, the stages will separate. The second stage will perform 2 burns. After it's completed that second burn, the first payload that will be deployed is IMAP, and then we will deploy SWIFO L1, and then we will deploy Carruthers in that order. So IMAP first, SWIFO L1, and then Carruthers. And they're all deployed within about 10 minutes of each other, around an hour and a half after liftoff. And Denton, I don't know if you want to chime in times or any other.
Yeah, so IMAP will be deployed about an hour and 23 minutes after T0. And then SWIFO L1 will be deployed about 7 minutes after IMAP. And then Carruthers would be 6 minutes after SWIFO L1.
All right, let's go to the phones now for our next question. Will Robinson Smith with Spaceflight Now. Go ahead.
Hey, Daryl, thank you for the opportunity, and thanks to the panel. Apologize for the car noise in the background. Traveling to Houston ahead of the introduction of the astronaut class on Monday. Question to Nikki Fox. Of course, we're just a couple of weeks away from a potential government shutdown yet again. And there's a lot of uncertainty about where that leaves the NASA budget, and in particular the science budget, as to whether or not it will be subject to the proposed cuts from the Office of Management and Budget, or if there's a different operating level that you guys will use. So I guess, can you provide some clarity on if the government shuts down, what then, and especially what happens to the important science missions that are at risk of being unfunded or defunded in that scenario? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for the question. As we do with every possible government shutdown, we plan our sort of contingency operations. We always make sure that we're protecting life and property, and so therefore we make sure we take care of the missions that are already in space and operating. And clearly, obviously, we don't anticipate any slips to this launch. Looking down the table, and so these missions will be up in space. Obviously, making sure that they are, we are able to operate them and do all those really crucial things is really important. Even if, in the unlikely event that maybe the weather causes a slip, we would still have these prioritized. As of course, at this point, we would be risking damage to our property if we didn't actually launch them. And so, I have no concerns about the care and feeding that will be given to these 3 missions. They're all very critical, and they're critical for many government priorities. And so we'll be certainly moving them through regardless of the shutdown.
And we'll stay on the phone bridge and go now to Stephen Clark with Ars Technica.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Just if you could go down the line, please, for each mission, a total cost, and also, the earlier question about how they get deployed. Following up on that, how long does each mission take to get to L1 and inter operations? Thanks.
Yeah, so I can start with for IMAP and Carruthers. IMAP has a life cycle cost of $781.8 million. That includes development costs, launch vehicle costs, and operations costs for a 2-year prime science mission. The Carruthers Geo Corona Observatory has a life cycle cost of $97 million, including a 2-year prime science mission. And the total cost for NASA to launch these IMAP and the secondary ride shares is $109.4 million.
All right. For SWIFO, our life cycle cost is $692 million, and that goes from concept phase all the way to operations and disposal. With that includes the SWIFO spacecraft, the 4 instruments, also the instrument, the first C-Core on GOES-U, along with our ground segment for operations. And we plan to be hopefully operational at L1 in April of 2026.
And I could just add back on IMAP. IMAP and Carruthers both arrive at L1 about 107 to 108 days after launch. Both are fully commissioned at that point and starting prime science.
All right, very good. And let's go back to the room now. And do we have any hands for questions? Ken?